Okay, so on this one, these types of problems, you're told they're similar and you're trying to figure out the missing piece, okay? So we talked about this last week where you have to pay attention to the order things are written, so you know which sides go together. So if you look here, it says TU and TM are the first two letters. So T to U, so this piece goes with TM, which is this piece, okay? So 154 and 55 go together, okay? So, and then we're gonna replace that question mark with an X. All right, so now we can set up our proportion and solve for our variable. So I'm gonna do 154 over 55. Okay, so I started with this triangle. So if I do 154 to 55, I need to do X to 50. Okay, and you start with this triangle. So you have X over 50, okay? Type 1 proportion, so now you can just cross multiply. So 55 times X is 55X. 154 times 50, don't remember off the top of my head, is 7,700. Then we're going to divide by 55. And when you divide those, you get X equals 140. Okay? So, just pay attention to the letters. That's why they give them to you, so that you can figure out which ones go together and you can set up with your proportion. Okay? Alright, so these last problems are all Pythagorean theorem. Okay? So when you have right triangles, you should be able to do this with its sides. A squared plus B squared equals C squared, okay? So A is usually your height, B is the base, and C is always the hypotenuse, okay? So C is always the side across from the 90-degree mark. It's the longest side of the right triangle, the diagonal piece, okay? So we're just going to plug in numbers and see if it ends up working, and it should, and then we're going to find out what the missing piece is, okay? So my A is 8, so I'm going to put 8 squared. And my B is 4, so I'm going to put 4 squared. And C is X, so you're going to put X squared. Okay, so you just substitute those in. So then you're going to do 8 squared is 64, 4 squared is 16, equals X squared. So 64 plus 16 gives you 80. Alright, now to undo the X squared, to get X by itself, you have to take the square root of both sides. So when you take the square root of here, you're just left with X, and the square root of 80 is 8.94, okay? Or you could just say X equals the square root of 80. I'm fine with that too, okay? Alright, so now the last problem. Okay, don't let the square roots in the problem throw you off. It's the same thing, okay? So you have A squared plus B squared equals C squared, okay? So side across from the 90 is your C, and then these two, it really doesn't matter which one you call A and B. So you have A and you have B, all right? So my A is going to be the square root of 7, so you're going to do square root of 7 squared plus, my B was X, so X squared equals, and the C is the square root of 13. So square root of 13 squared, okay? Now, the great thing about this is square roots and squares are inverses of each other, so they're going to cancel each other out. So when you square a square root, all that's left is the number inside, okay? So you have 7 plus X squared, and then the square root of 13 squared gives you 13, okay? So we're going to subtract this 7 over here so we can get X by itself. So you get X squared equals 6. Take the square root of both sides, so you get X equals 2.45. Or you can leave it as square root of 6. Okay? Alright, that's all the problems, different types of problems in the packet. If there's any you still don't know how to do, just message me on Remind or Google Classroom and let me know. And good luck.